Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new video and a brand new episode of my F1 2018 modded career mode here on the F1 2017 game. And we are back for round number 7 for the Canadian Grand Prix, just after the real life Grand Prix, which, by the way guys, I do apologise. This episode was meant to go out yesterday, but I wasn't feeling great yesterday and I wasn't able to record the video. So hopefully you can allow me on that one, and I do apologise for that. But anyway, if you did miss the last episode guys, do check out the card annotation in the top right hand corner of your screen for the last race in Monaco to see exactly what happened there and how we've got to this point. But a bit of an update. Hopefully this race weekend is a bit better than the one we saw yesterday in the real life Grand Prix. Also, big news, there's 2 uploads today guys. This will be the first of 2 videos. There's going to be another one later on around 6 PM UK time, and that's going to be the finale of Co-op with Arif. So do check that one out guys, come back to the channel for that one, and do turn on notifications so you don't miss the upload. But either way, jumping into this now, race weekend for qualifying. In Q1 we went for the super softs. Pretty straightforward session. We go straight through in second place there, and we got some really good pace in the car. But Hamilton showing these cards and also reminding us that this is a track where he tends to be very competitive on. But anyway, Q2 fastest in sector 1 on the ultra soft compound tyres compared to Hamilton, who's on the super softs. But then in sector 2 we actually drop a bit of time and we're a 10th down. So Hamilton got some good pace on those tyres in the Mercedes car, and we're now going through the final chicane here on the limit, really find the edge of the grip and running up to the line, bearing to the right a little bit for the shortest run to the line, and we go second. So not too bad, and that is going to see us go through quite comfortably into Q3 there, so in second place. So overall, a good session. Daniel Ricciardo, the shock elimination there in P13 in the Red Bull team. But now jumping to Q3 on my first attempt, took a little bit too much to curb there, a little bit too greedy, and unfortunately got a track extending penalty, so my lap was cancelled. I did finish the lap anyway though, because I wanted to get a reference point for my final attempt and my final banzai lap. And straight away you can see turns 1 and 2 absolutely perfect. I've really thrown the car in there, opening up the taps on the exit of turn 2 as we now run down to 3 and 4. Right left chicane here, really attacking the curbs as close as you dare to the wall on the right hand side, and now flat out through 5 into 6 and 7, which is a left-right combination. 4th gear action, you can use 3rd, I prefer 4th gear, and currently fastest in sector 1. Nice bit of exit speed there and traction through turn 7, and now we go all the way down to turn 8 and 9, which is the right-left combination chicane here. Really attacking the curbs in this one, especially that first one underneath the bridge, and then opening up on the exit. And now we're looking for the break point into the hairpin, braking right on the 100-meter board, down to 3rd gear, pick up your apex, and then wait for the traction to become available to you. Be nice and patient, don't rush it too much, and we got a very, very nice bit of traction out there, gaining a bit on our delta as we now open up the DRS with only one more chicane to tackle, and the infamous Wall of Champions coming up right now. So down a couple of gears, down to gear 5 or possibly gear 4 depending on your preference. Really attack the first one to open up the second one, and that way you get the maximum fluidity through there. As we open up with DRS, bear right to the line, and we're going to come across the start finish line and take pole position for the Canadian Grand Prix. Very good lap there, and as you saw up on our delta, because my actual delta lap time was actually fastest anyway, so when I knew I crossed the line with the fastest delta, I knew I was going to have pole. So overall, very good lap, almost dipping into the 1 minute 10s, but not quite. Overall though, we look very good in qualifying. However, we do have that tyre difference between us and the Mercedes, who are actually running super softs in the race here today, so it's going to be quite curious on the strategy to see how that one pans out. But we start up on pole position now. As you can see, there is Lewis Hamilton, the man that's going to start in second place on those super soft compound tyres. So it's going to be a very, very interesting race, this one, and I think the strategy is going to be very, very intriguing. But overall, in terms of the actual grid for the entire race, we're going to run you through it now, and it's going to be myself or Sebastian Vettel, however you want to call it, on pole position with Lewis Hamilton alongside on the front row. So obviously quite interesting. Actually, no, Bottas on the front row, so there you go. Bottas actually snuck in second place, so Hamilton's going to start in 3rd place then. So similar to the real life Grand Prix, the front row is exactly the same, but Hamilton in 3rd, Raikkonen in the second Ferrari in P4 there. Max Verstappen in P5, and a phenomenal Fernando Alonso again in 6th place. Really good qualifying from him. Grosjean and Hulkenberg on the 4th row, Magnussen and Perez bringing out the top 10. It's an all-Toro Rosso 6th row on the grid, being led by Gasly, with Daniel Ricciardo down in P13 alongside Esteban Ocon, and then we have Sirotkin and Sainz in 15th and 16th. Stoffel Van Dorn only in P17 compared to Alonso's 6th, with Stroll, Ericsson and Charles Leclerc bringing out the rear of the grid here. So now let's jump into it for the race, round number 7 for the Canadian Grand Prix. Alright then, here we are on the grid for the Canadian Grand Prix. P1, best of qualifying, and we have Bottas alongside us in second place. Lewis Hamilton directly behind, and the Mercedes cars on super soft tyres compared to me on ultras. In terms of the strategy, you can see on screen, it's going to be a race that progressively goes towards wet weather, and we might have a small chance of inters. Normally when there's just one icon at the end, it doesn't normally mean there's enough time for intermediates at the end. So we're going to go for the one stop, running the ultras and the softs. The Mercedes might have the advantage. I might two stop it depending on when the rain arrives, if it does come a bit earlier than expected, but I'm fully expecting it to not get wet enough for intermediates at the end of the race. So with that in mind, we're going to do a one-stop race with ultras onto the soft. So it's critical that we take the lead and hold on to our first place into turn one, because if we have to start overtaking the Mercedes cars and using up our ultras, they're going to be on a much faster tyre at the end when they run, I believe, the ultras at the end of Mercedes, and I'm going to be on the soft. So bit of an interesting one. Also, the Mercedes might be on a possible two-stop. You never know. That's still quite open. But overall, the strategy is very exciting, and I cannot wait. And it's going to be a tricky one. A 1 to 2-stop race. I think most people are going to favour a two-stop, but we'll see how it goes. And that's where the intriguing element is going to be in terms of the strategy. So let's jump into it now for round number 7 for the Canadian Grand Prix. And it's time for the race. Right then, here we go. We're getting ready for the 5 red lights at the circuit de Gilles Villeneuve. And we are away, and it's a pretty good start from us from first place, holding on to the inside line quite nicely there into turn 1 for the first time. And there we go, nicely held on to the lead. Very good traction off the line, even though we wasn't on the cleanest side of the grid. And that is us in first place. Bottas currently in P2. Raikkonen has got himself into P3, so he's actually overtaken Lewis Hamilton. So very good so far. And we've got to try and sort of replicate what Vettel did in the Rule Life Grand Prix by just trying to set the pace up front and lead the way on these ultra soft tyres. But the difference is we have Bottas behind on super soft, so let's see what his pace is like. But right now, a long way to go, 35 laps ahead of us. Let's try and settle into this race and let's see how it goes. I'm hoping Kimi can get past Bottas. I think he's going to be in a similar strategy to me, although now thinking about it, the more I think about it, I think Raikkonen could be on the two-stop ultra super, which is the original strategy they got selected. I modified mine to a soft, but I think if Kimi's on the two-stop, he needs to pass Bottas soon. I'm already opening up a big gap. I'm on for a fastest lap already. Raikkonen needs this result. He needs a second place, this Raikkonen, because he's had a very poor season so far. I think he's down like P10 in the championship or P9, and we're already 7 races in. So Raikkonen really needs to get his act together and get a big result. But right now, we're breaking away here. We're setting the pace, and we're really, really going at it. A 14.0. That's a very quick lap to open up my account in this race. And already got a 2-second gap to Valtteri Bottas on lap number 3 as DRS gets enabled. So we've managed to clear Valtteri from DRS. Bottas is really holding up a massive train of cars, but his straight line speed is so good, no one can pass him. Even Raikkonen can't pass him in a straight line. And so right now, everyone's getting frustrated behind Bottas. Meanwhile, I'm really walking away right at the front, nearly 5 seconds clear of Valtteri after 5 laps. My pace has been extremely good, running every single lap very quick, and another fastest lap there as we improve again, just running in a very low 1 in 14, which is very, very good race pace. And we're extending our lead now over 5 seconds to Valtteri Bottas, and we're looking very much in control of this race. Into the 1 minute 13s, that is really good pace. I mean, these are the sort of lap times they were doing in yesterday's Grand Prix towards the end of the Grand Prix, so it goes to show a very good race pace. Gap to Bottas 6.4 over a second a lap. I'm absolutely fine in it, and Bottas is really struggling for pace, holding up a lot of cars, but his straight line speed is really saving him at the moment, and it's getting him out of trouble. But right now, we are walking the Canadian Grand Prix. At this rate, I might be able to actually two-stop comfortably and get enough of a gap for a pit stop out to Bottas at this rate. Another fastest lap, 13.8. Tyres are really holding on here, very impressed with these, they're working beautifully. I wouldn't mind going back on them, so the two-stop could be a possibility here. Gap to Bottas, 7.7. If we can get that to around 15 seconds, we've got a chance. On that last lap, Bottas only lost a tenth of a second, so he seems to be finding a bit of pace. I also noticed he's just starting to break up the little train of cars he had behind him, so it looks like Bottas finally waking up in this Grand Prix and getting his car to work for him. We also got offered a strategy change. The team offered to stick with the one-stop now, even they've realised the one-stop might be the better option. But they've actually given me super softs. So instead of coming on lap 12 for softs, they've asked me to stretch it out for 2 more laps until lap 14 and get to the end of the race on super soft. So basically I'll still go 5 more laps in these tyres, which I can do. As you can see, we're scheduled to come in lap 14 in the pit window, and in terms of the tyre wear, we're looking okay, around 30%. I reckon I can get these to lap 14 no problem. Pace is good. I've got the gap to Bottas, so we're going to stick with the one stop and modify our strategy to super softs and comfortably get those to the end. Also looks like Kimi's just overtaken Valtteri. Changing position, I can see on the mini-map as well, Raikkonen has overtaken Bottas finally. So just when Bottas was picking up the pace, Raikkonen has really picked up the pace and he's got the job done. We've got 10 seconds on Kimi right now, but he's in P2. Good to see for us as a team if we can get a 1-2 result. That'd be very much needed for the championship. So right now, Raikkonen in second place. Let's see what sort of pace he's got and see if he can break away from Valtteri. Kimi has really broken away from Bottas in one lap. You can see the gap he's got. Really running away with it. We're still faster than Kimi though, but Bottas is really struggling on that super soft, and we're about a couple of tenths faster than Kimi per lap. I'll say about 3 tenths, but crucially we are still over a second faster a lap than Bottas, and Kimi really is pushing now. And we're at a stage where we can still probably pit now, and we probably will come out ahead of Bottas. And also Bottas on the radio now. Yep, problem with Bottas' car according to Jeff on the radio, so Bottas struggling, as I believe Hamilton has come in the other Mercedes car. So Mercedes changing their strategy up. It hasn't really worked for them on the super softs, whereas myself and Raikkonen are going to stick it out on these tyres. I wonder if Raikkonen would have been offered the same strategy switch as me, because if he has, we were looking very good for the 1-2 finish, especially because even if we pit the same lap, I've got that much of a gap to Raikkonen that if we have to pit the same lap, we won't stack or we won't lose time because I've just got such a nice cushion. So this is very good news for us. Looks like, according to the top left, Verstappen, he also took Bottas on the last lap, and he's actually come in Verstappen, so he's only about 2 seconds behind Raikkonen, so he might try and line Kimi up for the undercut, so Raikkonen's got to be wary of that and try and come in. But based off of the fact Kimi didn't stop last lap, which was a scheduled lap for a 1 stop, and he's already gone past the 2-stop window, I'm presuming he's been offered the same strategy change as me, and I think we're both going to try and go for that 1 stop onto the supers. Oh, safety car deployed. Fernando Alonso out of the Grand Prix. I probably could have just come in there. I've just ruined myself there. Should have come in there. That was sort of messed me up badly. Hopefully Kimi comes in. If Kimi comes in, then we can still take the win as a team. But I need Kimi to come in. And yes, he is right. Kimi comes in. That's good news, because he's going to come out now, I think, in the net race lead. Okay, Raikkonen's gone for softs, and he's rejoined just in front of Lewis Hamilton. So there you go. Raikkonen on softs, going to the end of the race. That's very good news for us as a team. But now I'm stuck behind the safety car, so I'm going to be the one here who's going to get hurt. I'm going to have to stick on the super softs at least to try and give myself a best chance. But I think we're going to have work to do. I know I'm going to get caught up by the end of the lap. I didn't react fast enough to the safety car, so yep, this is going to be an annoying one. But hopefully, at least if Raikkonen can pick up the W, then I'd be happy, because he needs this 25 points. But if I can try and get the 1-2 and hold on to that 1-2, then I'd be happy. Right, let's come into the pit lane then. Safety car, please move. There we go. Let's get it all slowed down. Very cautious there, probably a little bit too cautious, but you never know. That's the sort of risk we run. There goes Raikkonen and Hamilton. They're going to go past. So far, not too bad. Remember, the pit lane exit does favour us in terms of the positioning, so we will gain some time back. There goes Verstappen. He's also going to the end on softs. Grosjean's in P5 on softs. Now, I can't tell if he's pit or he started on those. I'm going to guess he started on those. That's my guess, but if we can just rejoin in front of Grosjean, that would be ideal. Are we going to get him, though, before the safety car line? No, we're not. I think we're going to have to rejoin behind Grosjean, I'm afraid. Right, so P5, that's not too bad. I expected far worse than that. Luckily, the rest of the AI didn't really catch up that much. So, good news for us. Mercedes are on Ultras, but I highly doubt they're going to get those to the end. So, they're probably going to stop again and go for the 2-stop. So, right now, we're in a net P3 behind Kimi, who's leading, and Verstappen in P2. Grosjean is yet to pit, and so is Lewis Hamilton. So, this is very good news for us, and I can definitely get past Verstappen. I've definitely got the pace, and I can also get back past Kimi on these tyres. So it's all looking pretty good. It's not as bad as I thought, so let's get into it. Okay, so we just got the first radio message regarding the rain, saying it's 15 minutes away. So that's pretty interesting. Food for thought, and also something to make you realise that we still have that threat at the end of the Grand Prix. Right, safety car in this lap. We're getting ready for the restart here. I'm already in rich mix, ready to engage. So just getting ready for whenever Raikkonen accelerates here. And once he gets going, the race will be underway. There we go, they've accelerated. Let's react to this. Rich mix flowing. Can we get close enough here to Grosjean into the final chicane? No, not yet. There we go, there's a green flag. That might have been my chance, but I couldn't go for that move, because otherwise I would have got an illegal overtake if I'd got him under still yellow flag. So back on the way here at Montreal. Let's try and get past Romain Grosjean. He's on warm soft, so he's going to be fairly simple to get past, I reckon. We should have the grip advantage, especially on these tyres combined with some rich mixture. Okay, here we go. We're in the slipstream of Romain. We're very close. Do I dare go for the dive into the hairpin? Yeah, damn right I do. I've just got so much more grip on these tyres. Fresh rubber on the car. Roman's pace wasn't terrible, but we've made the move now. Hamilton now is all over the back of Raikkonen, but it's understandable. He is on those fresh ultras, and he's actually going to go for the move here as Hamilton pulls to the inside of Kimi into the final chicane. Grosjean's actually getting back past me, I didn't realise. So Grosjean's on my inside here into the final chicane. I've got to leave some room over the curbing, and we just hold on. We have to hobble over it, but we've made it work. Yellow flag behind, something's happened. But look at this battle in front. Verstappen now getting involved, and this could be interesting for the race leaders. Verstappen gets on the inside of Kimi Raikkonen. Has he made it work? It's very close. Raikkonen is still holding the outside, but there we go. Verstappen's taken him. So Verstappen now is the net race leader in this Grand Prix as Hamilton storms off into the distance on those ultra softs. Right behind Kimi here, I've got a great exit out of the final chicane, and I don't really want to make this too awkward for him, so I don't want him to lose any time as we set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. I'm running very deep into turn 1 here as I get a little bit wrong on the brakes, but we've managed to pull the nose back in thanks to the tyres we have. DRS now enabled. Let's try and hunt down Verstappen, who has got some great pace. He's pursuing Hamilton on those ultras, so Verstappen really going for it here, and that Red Bull's really switched on the restart. Onto the back straight, DRS now enabled. Verstappen is going to have DRS from Lewis, and I'm going to get a double toe on this back straight. We're not really close enough to Verstappen as he's actually gaining on Hamilton quite a lot, but we're going to be very, very close going through the chicane. If I can just get the momentum sorted out, that's quite a nice line. Verstappen again in the slipstream of Hamilton, that Red Bull. No slouch in a straight line, going very well as we improve again to another fastest lap here. But now we're going to be stuck behind these two guys as Raikkonen is dropping back. Unfortunate because I want him to win the race, so at least get a second place. But Verstappen now is really turning on here at Canada, so fair play to him. But let's see how this goes. It's going to be a very intriguing battle as Verstappen goes a little bit hot into the chicane. That's put me right on the back of him as we go into turn 4. Braking late, inside line. Can we squeeze Verstappen out? Yes, we do. And we get the move. And that is us back into the net race lead. Now the question is, can we get these tyres to the end of the Grand Prix? I feel like Verstappen might come back at me later on with those tyres, but for now we've got the advantage. And now let's try and get past Lewis, who is on those ultras who seem to be fading very quickly in that Mercedes car. Let's try and brake late into the hairpin, a little bit of a lock up on the right front, but that's not too bad. Nice bit of traction on the exit, nice and clean, nicely done. And now we wait for the DRS to become available on the back straight, and we're just going to try and power past Lewis here, let the revs max out, and there we go. We're gaining and gaining. Hamilton goes defensive a little bit into the final chicane. I'm going to try and set my car up here for a little move, and there we go. We've got the switch back on him. Nice bit of momentum. We're going to get to the inside. Hamilton's going to give me a good old squeeze, but it's pointless as we make the move and we retake the lead here in Canada, and we're back up into first place. Now Raikkonen, let's hope he can overtake these guys. He's caught back up to Verstappen, so I'm sort of hoping they can get going again and try and make the moves. There we go, Lewis comes in. The rain also now expected between 10 to 15 minutes, so it's all floating on that time scale. It hasn't really got any closer, which is good news. But right now, Verstappen takes second, Raikkonen takes third, and this is going to be the podium. The question is, in what order are we going to finish? Fastest lap of the Grand Prix in standard mix, no DRS. Just goes to show I've got the pace. Also, Raikkonen is extremely close to Verstappen on that lap. I think Raikkonen is knocking on the door. I think this lap might be the one. It looks like Kimi's made the move into turn 1 on Verstappen, and he's into second place. So fair play. Kimi's got it. We're on for a 1-2 here, which is very good news. Oh, there we've got a very slow moving Leclerc here who's got problems. I think through his brakes, he's ran very deep into the final corner. That could be a threat. Also, Grosjean has just retired from the Grand Prix, so cars are dropping out of the race now. Seems to be struggling with their cars. Brakes do get eaten up around here, so it's a real concern. Raikkonen now pulling away from Verstappen, 4/10 clear. Once Raikkonen breaks the DRS, I think you'll drop Verstappen quite easily. But for now, Verstappen's holding on a little bit there. But I'm hoping Leclerc doesn't ruin the party for Ferrari, and Raikkonen can get past him fairly easily as we now come across the retiree, Mr. Roman Grosjean, who had such a great race, P4, as we saw him on the restart. And I think he was attacking it, so unfortunate one for him there as he retires from the Grand Prix. I just realised Verstappen's re-overtaken Raikkonen, and he's actually 3 seconds ahead of him, so something's happened there with Kimi. I wonder if he's had an altercation with Leclerc, which is exactly what I said I did not want. I want to keep a keen eye on that. Okay, so according to the radio, rain expected to hit any time now. That's very early. Maybe the safety car might have just given the chance of the rain having a bit of a presence here in the final stage of this Grand Prix. So what we're going to do is we're just going to play it safe, and we're going to select the intermediates once I get through the chicane. There we go. Right, let's just play this one safe. I want to get the inter selected and get ready for the pit stop. Tyres are holding on nicely, so we're looking very in control right now. The only thing that could ruin it is the rain, but even then I don't think I'm going to get caught out There's not enough laps for it to ruin us, but let's see when this rain arrives. Okay, the rain has arrived. I just saw a droplet or two, and I can see on my car there's like little streaks of water coming up the chassis. So the rain is here, definitely earlier than I expected. But let's take it easy now. Be careful with the grip. We don't want to make any mistakes. We just have to wait for the transition into intermediate conditions, which definitely going to have to run those tyres, I think, now. Okay, Raikkonen no longer in P3. It's Ricciardo in third place now, so something's wrong with Raikkonen. I'm guessing he got some front wing damage with Leclerc. That's my guess, which is very annoying because Raikkonen was on some great points this race. I'm not sure if it's come in or not. I just feel like I could be risking it unnecessarily, but I'm going to hold on for one more. I mean, I reckon I could maybe get this to the end of these tyres. If the rain keeps on at this rate, I reckon I can get it home. There's 2 more laps to go, but if Verstappen comes in for inters, I'm going to respond this lap. We've got a car there, that's Van Dorn, who's gone deep. I think he's having issues. Cars are struggling to make it to the end now, and Raikkonen is now about 20 seconds behind, so he's definitely got some problems as we now catch up to Lance Stroll. Verstappen's staying out, so there's no need, but even when I say no need, this lap definitely feels like I could have maybe just gone for the inters because there is no grip. Oh dear, that was close. Managed to duck out of that one just in time, but it definitely feels like this could be the lap for inters. I'm just going to come in this lap for intermediates anyway because I'll have the pace to overtake Verstappen again, so never mind, we're going to bring this one home because I'm not locking up anywhere. So if I don't lock up, then I'm pretty good. I can hold on to this. It's going to take a miracle for Verstappen to come in for inters and overtake me on this lap. So let's just bring this one home and bring it home nice and steadily. It is definitely intermediate conditions now, but it doesn't matter. Last lap, one more time through the final chicane. It's been a very, very controlled race from start to finish. A little bit hot into the chicane there, got to be careful. DRS now disabled, that's normally the sign for intermediates, but it doesn't matter. We're going to come home to win the Canadian Grand Prix and another 25 points for us. A big, big win and a very, very dominant one. One of the most dominant ones of the season. Overall, thoroughly deserved. We had the pace all the way through and we bring home the 25 points for Maranello in Canada. So overall, very good race. We replicate exactly what Sebastian Vettel did in yesterday's race from start to finish, controlled the race, dominated it, and the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. And overall, a very, very good Grand Prix weekend for us. And as you can see, Arriva Bene, very happy with that one as we bring home the points. And overall, disappointed for Raikkonen. I feel really gutted for him. He deserves so much more out of that race. I want to see where he finished, but that was so unfortunate for him. So hopefully he can pull through and maybe get a couple of wins later on in the season. But I really want to see Kimi get himself going for the season because it's just becoming a bit too much of a one-sided affair. But otherwise, as you can see, Marcus Ericsson there getting a point for Sauber. Very good result for him. They'll be happy with that one. But as you can see, top step of the podium with Verstappen in second and Ricciardo in third. So no Mercedes in sight. Obviously, two-stop strategy for them. But 25 points for us, and we go home the happiest of the bunch. And we will go again in the next race in Austria. But that is your top three, and there is the champagne. But now let's move into the final race results, drivers and constructors standing to see how everything shapes up going to the next race at the Red Bull Ring. So looking at the final race results, we win ahead of Max Verstappen and Daniel Ricciardo, who recovered from a brilliant P13. So fair play to him, really good recovery drive from the Aussie there. Raikkonen brings them in P4 in the end, so not too bad considering I'm guessing he had car trouble. Hamilton P5 in the first of the Mercedes. Sergio Perez in a very good 6th place for Force India. Kevin Magnussen in P7 there, picking up a penalty on the way. Pierre Gasly in P8. Esteban Ocon in 9th. And Marcus Ericsson scoring that brilliant point for Sauber there. And Bottas down in P13, missing out on the points, unfortunately for him, as do both of the Renaults. And further down the order, Alonso and Grosjean retire from the race, and Leclerc and Van Dorn all struggling towards the end of that Grand Prix with their brakes. But in terms of the driver standings, you can see we are 9 points clear and overtake Hamilton for the lead of the championship going into Austria. So just like the real life Grand Prix, we snatch the lead and we take the lead of Sebastian Vettel going into the next race. Raikkonen gets himself up into 8th place, nice little jump up in the points table for him there. And in terms of the constructors, you can see we lead now by 1 point, overtaking Red Bull and Mercedes after that race. So overall, very good race for us as a team, and we go into Austria with a lot of momentum. But other than that, thank you guys for watching this episode of the F1 2018 Modded Career Mode. If you have enjoyed it, then please do leave a like on the video. Try and smash 150 likes, guys, for this episode. Also, if you're new around here, why not subscribe? And there'll be daily F1 and MotoGP content. And also, do turn on notifications to not miss a single upload from me. And finally, do check out these 2 videos on screen if you have missed either of the 2. But other than that, thanks for watching, guys. Let's see you in my next video tomorrow. Goodbye.